Do you know what the best feeling in the world is? Being right. And I'm not the type of person to say I told you so, even though I'm dedicating my time to make a YouTube video basically saying I told you so. But one of the chess greats of all time helped me prove one of my points about Street Fighter. So a few months back, I made a video defending the new generation of fighting game players because I feel that my generation, which is the older generation, unfairly picks on the newer generation, making false claims saying that they couldn't compete in the games that we used to play just because fighting games are quote-unquote easier now. And if you haven't checked out that video, feel free to check it out in your spare time. But the reason I bring it up is I ironically compared Street Fighter to chess during that video, and now we have Magnus Carlsen, the greatest chess player of all time, basically validating my opinion on the myth that the new generation couldn't hang with older generation players in those fighting games. So every now and then, the Joe Rogan podcast will deviate from having a conspiracy theorist nut job to actually having a legit person with talent, and in this case, he had Magnus Carlsen, and this is what Magnus Carlsen said that really stuck out to me at one part of the interview. So during one part of the interview, the conversation came up about why there were so many young players that were excelling at chess, and the one thing that Magnus Carlsen cited it to be was just the advancement of modern technology. And that modern technology unlocks two very crucial things. The first is, it gives tons of people access to high-level training material, and it gives you access to play this game wherever you want, wherever you can, because now it's a lot more accessible. And I just wish the fighting game community had something like that. Can you imagine how cool that would be? You go onto YouTube and you just find guides for characters or video games, or you type things into Google and you find more resources, and then you're able to play online against people around the world or different regions or different parts of your country. I mean, that would be so awesome. I wish we had it. Alright, I'll stop being facetious. Doesn't that sound exactly what elevated the chess level playing field? And that's why I think chess is such a good example for this, because we can finally show an example where the game is not different. Chess has been the exact same game it has been for 100 years. But why are players still getting better? It's because you have access to that technology. And funny thing is, Carlsen actually cited two players. The first is the Messi of chess, who's a 10-year-old soon-to-be grandmaster from Argentina. 10 years old. But even crazier than that right now, there's a 3-year-old in India that's currently ranked 1600 ELO at tournaments. Can you just put your mind around that crazy number? Imagine a 3-year-old coming to your local and stomping on you. That's what's happening with the advancement of technology right now. Humans just develop so fast. When you have early exposure to something, you have access to information, and then you also have access to a competitive pool like online games. You're gonna supercharge just how good you get at things. And it's not only exclusive to fighting games or chess. Look at another iconic video game. Tetris on the NES came out in 1989. If you gave that fact to anybody, they would think that it would just be old heads like me that were dominating that scene forever, and that's what's going to continue to happen. But if you actually look at the Tetris World Championship right now, Google it, YouTube it, whatever, you're going to see nothing but young faces, because that scene is dominated by players that are under the age of 20. There's even players that are 13 that are fending for world championships. It's that crazy. And it's not because they're better than the old generation, or the old generation, made this game easier for them. Players just have access to so much technology now. They have access to so many resources, and they're able to play these games in ways that they never were able to play them before. This is what's making everybody so much better. And honestly, I can never get sick of these Tetris clips. These kids are nuts. And I'll even bring this back to fighting games. Now that we have amazing places to play games like Fightcade, or Capcom's releasing all these different compilations of their old games with rollback netcode, you're gonna see so many younger players that never grew up in that scene that will find these games, pick them up, and start dominating way faster than we could, just because they have access to all that information. And look at one of the most historic moments in gaming history, Evo Moment 37. I remember showing this video to people, and their jaws dropped at how incredible it was that Daigo could parry that entire super art from Chun-Li. But now, even people like Justin Wong will post videos online of him trying to test people's reaction to do the perfect parries against him, and guess what? He has a whole compilation of random people all around the world being able to perform it on him. That is the power of having access to all this technology and finding videos that can motivate you to learn these types of things. Alright, and that's the video, and I know I made a lot of jokes like this is just an I told you so in your face video, but I'm only messing around when I talk about that. The real reason I make these videos is that I just want to stick up for new players that are joining the scene. Any scene you join in any game is going to be tough, and I don't think we as older generations should be talking down any accomplishments players have, whether they're big or small. I think we should encourage people to play the games that we love, because the more support they get, the more support that the games we love get as well. So let's stick out for each other. This is a great community. Peace out, everybody. I'll catch you on the next one.